I see someone who is in the waiting area. Just so you know, our pre-meeting is going to end up starting at 5:15, and the main meeting will start at 5:30. For those of you that have logged in for the Architecture Review Board meeting, our members will be meeting for their pre-meeting in about 10 minutes at 5:15, since they did not have very many items to talk about. And then our main meeting will start at 5:30. Thank you. Hi, Carol.
Hey, Mara, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing fine, thanks.
I'm gonna be Kelly tonight.
Oh, okay. Who all is going to be here?
You will have Bob, Tracy, and Ken. Bob.
Mara. Carol.
Hey, Bob.
How are things on the south side of Webster, Carol? Isn't that where you live?
I'm kind of like right in the middle.
Oh, you're in the middle?
Yes. So things look good both directions from here. It's pretty quiet with all the rain.
She's over by me. We're only like a block away from each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Anyone within a couple blocks of 44 is considered middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it too.
But it's not walking weather.
No.
Splashing about weather.
So Bob, no Angela tonight. So just you, Tracy, Carol, and Ken.
Okay. I was trying to remember if I thought I printed out your summary. I gotta go grab it. Hold on.
Okay. Hey, Ken.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
We can.
I'm all in. Turning down the lights here so I don't look like a tomato. I don't know what the deal is on this.
All right, so all we're waiting for is Tracy's going to come on, and then Bob was getting the agenda, and then you guys can start your pre-meeting.
Okay, sorry. Waiting for Tracy.
Yep. If she doesn't get on in a minute or two, you could probably go ahead and start your pre-meeting because you do have a quorum with 3.
Okay.
Oh, there's Tracy.
All right, Tracy's here. We are good to go. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, sorry about that. Took me a minute to find the link for some reason.
I've been there. Okay, we can start our pre-meeting. Mara did forward along the summary of the agenda. Starting with item 1 was 54 Mason. Public hearing, were there any comments on that from board members?
I didn't have any.
I thought it would be, I just thought it was kind of awkward how they're terminating the wall right at the bay window. I didn't know if we could shift it over a little bit to miss the bay window, or maybe just get rid of the bay altogether, but it's coming in like right at the angle.
You know, I can't say that I would vote against it the way it is, but I had the same comment, Tracy. It just looks like that intersection is a bit awkward where the new gable roof and the existing bay come together.
Yeah.
I would concur. I wouldn't vote against it. When you look at the rear elevation, see how they're dodging the window, I see the rationale for doing it. It is unusual, I'll grant you that.
That maybe they could use some sort of a lower connector piece between the house and the larger gable roof, so they could still stay out of those windows, but not have that unusual intersection.
I just feel like the way that it's designed now, it's very obvious that it's an addition. And that's just kind of unfortunate, especially for a historic home.
And it just, in terms of the massing and the materials, it's a little visually unbalanced, especially in terms of the original home, which is very symmetrical. So maybe we can kind of talk with them about what the thinking was as far as having just columns in one corner and then the corner fireplace and then a portion of wall that just has siding. It in the context of the existing house, it just seems a bit unbalanced to me.
Okay. We can move on from there. We'll discuss 54 Mason. Next was 27 Oak Terrace. Are there any comments from board members?
I didn't have any.
Tracy?
I was fine with it. It clarified the match in the existing windows, so I'm fine.
Yep, I had the same comment, so good there.
Okay. Next we have 135 South Elm.
No comments.
No comment?
No comment.
All right. Next we got 513 Hollywood.
Pre-approval on that one.
Yeah.
And just note, I only put that extra little comment because there was some question about still asking about not painting the brick, but it's not something you can necessarily require one way or the other. So just leaving it open that if should they not want to paint it, it wouldn't kick anything back from our staff review.
Sounds like a good solution.
Yep. Okay, and then I have the one I marked up, but for some reason I thought I printed yours, Mara, but I didn't. So was 208 pre-approved?
It was not pre-approved only because there were a couple questions about all the new windows weren't matching the same style. And so I talked with the applicant and it seemed better that she would prefer to just talk with you all and have that conversation. So that one was not.
Okay, so that's 208 East Jackson. Okay. So that'll be discussed. And then if I remember, 450 West Lot, Lockwood. Was that pre-approved?
That was pre-approved. The clarifications were the roofing is going to match. It didn't completely have those notes. Roofing will be asphalt shingles to match the existing. And they're going to add a window to the left elevation of the garage to match the one on the right side. So
Okay.
there were two really large, the garage is a 1.5 story garage, and it had a lot of siding on the one side. And so there was just a conversation. So it was adding another window to match the window. So each side would have one window in it.
And then the last one was 450 Sherwood.
Pre-approval, no comments on any concerns or anything to address.
Okay. I know I sent it to the printer. I don't know where.
It's okay. You're fine. You can't make the motions anyway, so the other members have to have the printout.
Right. Lucky me.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Thank you all.
And then
Okay.
just a reminder, at the end, we do have the people who wanted to have just an informal conversation about their project. It was in the back of the packets. So they will be on after you get through the 3 historic and the 1 window project.
Okay.
Mara, does that project satisfy the zoning as far as square footage wise on the lot?
Yes.
It does, okay.
Yeah. So they're actually trying to get it in because our codes are going to be changing for
I was
square
gonna say, it
footage.
looks pretty big, so I was worried about that.
Yeah, they're right under.
Okay.
But the code is changing.
Mhm.
Meet all the setbacks, but the overall total square footage is going to be reducing on some of the smaller lots.
Yeah.
And then I will be forwarding you, the Plan Commission did vote on their approved changes to the zoning code for 2-family and single-family residential. It's moving for a public hearing that I'll be presenting April 6th. So we will have a hearing then. I was going to forward to all the commissions just a quick heads up of this is what's moving forward in case anyone had any comments. And then it'll have a public hearing before city council. I would anticipate it'll be at council maybe for 2 to 3, maybe 3 meetings. And then in addition, on April 5th, which is Plan Commission, we are bringing another code amendment forward for multifamily uses in our commercial districts, and kind of looking at, right now in the D district, it requires a conditional use permit. And in the C district, it's just not even in there at all. So if someone wanted to do multifamily above retail, they can't currently do it without doing a full rezoning, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, knowing that that's where you want your densities and your walkability. So we are looking at putting it in with like a straightforward, if you meet these setbacks, if you meet this parking, if you can meet these elements, it would be a permitted use within the C and D districts. And so we're putting that proposal before the Plan Commission with our reasonings at the April 5th Plan Commission meeting.
Has there been any discussion about projecting when they're going to reopen City Hall for public hearings and all that in person?
I don't think there has been one at this time. I know that they're trying really hard to get all of us vaccinated. So my staff finally were able to get their shots last week. Our secondary shot isn't until the first week of April. I know that a lot of the rest of City Hall staff is not considered in this latest category. So we're still kind of waiting. And we do have a lot of people here who, have various issues. So I would anticipate at least through the rest of the summer, we will probably, spring and into the summer, we will stay on Zoom until we're all comfortable with our groups coming in and having as many people vaccinated as possible.
Okay. So,
I'm sure probably a lot of our applicants and consultants would feel good about that too, because who knows what their status is as far as being able to get vaccinated.
Yeah. And we'll still look at some options, which I think we've discussed before, which maybe even after we get off of Zoom and we're in person for those first few months, seeing which ones can be pre-approved to limit the people that have to come into City Hall. So continuing to do a little bit of what we've done, to continue to get as many, like for this one, for example, we'd be down to only 4 projects versus 7 projects. And on some of our past ones, we cut the numbers of projects in half. So if we can do that, that would be beneficial.
Okay. I got to drive 2.5 hours yesterday to get my shot. And what is
Where
it?
did you go?
Salisbury, Missouri. You go Columbia north to Moberly, and then 25 or 30 miles west. They had like 35 or 40 National Guard people there. It took 5 armed uniformed people to tell us where to park. It was over scrutinized, I think, but they're all having fun. You know, it was working too hard. There's an awful lot of them. But they were getting the people in and out. That was cool.
Yeah.
I know a few people around here did the drive because they didn't know how long it was going to be before we could get vaccinated. It happened that for those of us that fall under Public Works, we were able to go to Richmond Heights.
Yeah, well, good for you.
It's nice, yeah.
But on the
The
same
road-
day we were at Richmond Heights, people were driving to Columbia from our offices.
Mhm.
Richmond Heights beats a road trip in the snow,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
but you
You
gotta
gotta-
do what you gotta do.
I know. You guys have 1 more minute. And then when you get ready, if there's anything, Bob, that you need in terms of the agenda, just let me know.
Yeah, I have the agenda, just not the one you re-emailed.
Got it.
Is Kelly and Will with us tonight?
Will's with us tonight. I'm being Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Gave her a night off to celebrate with her husband. It's his birthday.
Nice.
I think you're good to go.
All right, great. Well, thank you, everyone that's online for joining us. We are finished with our work session from 5:15 to 5:30. Our regular meeting will now begin. Mara Perry and Will Penny are on with the City of Webster Groves. We have Carol Dunke, Ken Burns, Tracy Collins, and myself, Bob Buckman, volunteer architects on the board. First item is review of meeting minutes from March 4th. There are 4 of us here of the 5 that attended. So with that, we could I could ask for a motion.
I would like to make a correction on the last item. I had disapproved on the front yard fence design.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did not abstain. You
Right.
disapproved. Okay.
Voted against, yeah.
All right,
So if there's no other comments, I can make a motion on the minutes.
sure.
Okay. Make a motion on the March 4th meeting minutes with the revision to item 10 to read that 3 board members voted to approve, 1 board member voted against, and 1 abstained.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Meeting minutes are approved as amended. Next item, we have pre-approvals, and Mara emailed us all. So when I ask for a motion, if you please refer to that document in the motion. First one is 513 Hollywood. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 513 Hollywood, leaving open the option of not painting the existing brick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay, that is approved. Next, we have 450 West Lockwood. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 450 West Lockwood with the clarification that the roofing will be asphalt shingles to match existing roofing, and that a window will be added to the left elevation to match the right elevation of the garage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, 450 West Lockwood's approved. Next, we have 450 Sherwood. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 450 Sherwood as submitted.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? And 450 Sherwood is approved. Next on our agenda, we have a few public hearing projects. The first one is 54 Mason. Is there anyone online that's here to speak on behalf of that project?
Yes. Robert Strode with Strode and Company Architects.
Welcome, Robert.
How are you?
Good, thank you. We heard in our pre-meeting, there was some discussion around the location of the addition and a few of the details surrounding. I'm not sure if you want to comment or you want us to ask the questions first.
Yeah, I mean, I can answer any questions that you might have.
Sure. So I could start with either Tracy or Carol.
Yeah, I think one thing we were discussing in the pre-meeting is just the location of the addition and how it lands at the bay window. Where it kind of terminates up against that bay seems to be a little bit of an awkward position.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a function of how the second floor windows interact with the roof line. So ideally, we would want to encapsulate that entire bay, but we're unable to do so because of the second floor windows.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the next best thing there and preserved some of the roof line over the bay and added the new roof at the covered patio structure.
Is there any opportunity to maybe get rid of the bay altogether?
I wish there were. The client really wanted to keep that. It adds some space in their existing dining area that they can't give up. They have a fairly large family, so they would prefer to keep that bay. I also believe that there's foundation under that bay, so it's
Oh, is there?
typical cantilever bay, if I remember correctly.
And the plan is to keep the roof over that bay, I guess.
Just the visible portion of the roof.
Yeah.
Underneath, it's going to be a vaulted ceiling. They're gonna remove the fascia and the roof below the new porch, and that'll be sided up to the vault. But on the exterior, that existing roof line will remain.
What is the window above the bay now? Does that go to a bedroom, or could that be modified in any way?
Those are bedroom windows.
Okay, so that's serving as
So,
your only egress from that bedroom?
Yeah.
Robert, do you think there might be an opportunity to do like a lower sloped connector roof between the house and the larger part of the outdoor room, so you wouldn't interfere with those windows and you could move the taller roof away from the house? And that way you could encompass the whole bay. Perhaps that connector roof piece could actually match the slope of your exterior vault. And that way you would be able to preserve your bay, preserve your windows, and not have that awkward intersection.
Not sure I follow you there. So you'd have like a dual pitch roof or something like that? Or-
It would be dual pitched on the outside, but not on the inside. The
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that would look. To change the roof pitch. We've got consistent roof pitches throughout on this house.
Could you speak up just a little bit, Robert? I'm having a little hard time hearing you.
I was saying, I think that may look a little awkward since we only have that, we have the same pitch throughout the project. And I think that may look actually a little stranger than just leaving the bay.
Yeah, that would really only be visible from the side views and only really from a fairly limited area on the side. It wouldn't be visible at all from the back, the lower pitched portion of roof.
I'm not following you.
I'm trying to think of a different way to explain it. It would almost be, say if you were going to do sort of like a small walkway or something, between the outdoor room and the house, you might use a lower pitched, smaller roof over that connector piece. Well, instead of having a walkway, you would just lower the pitch of the roof where it's immediately adjacent to the house. And just for a few feet until you cleared those windows, and then you would pop up to your main pitch as you have it drawn now.
You're talking about doing a slight window well in the side of the roof?
Yeah, that's- Seems like there'd be an opportunity for, that would be a great water collection point.
Well, you can drain it out. I mean, it doesn't have to be dead flat. You can slope it to drain it out.
You could have the same gutter line as the,
Yeah, but from the window, you would be looking at the back side of a fascia board, or is that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you could finish it nicely and it would be a few feet away. You would still get natural light in there, and it wouldn't obstruct the whole window. It just have,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
little bit at the lower part.
I would prefer not to do that. I think it is gonna interrupt some of that natural light, especially in the morning hours, into that room. Because that just looking at it here, it looks like that would cover almost half the window.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sketching it in just kind of eyeballing it to, if you go wider, if you take the bay, go to the opposite side of the bay, just kind of sketching it, it looks to me like it just kind of clips the bottom corner of the lower sash of the window, the one window. I was just, trying to solve the problem. It's something you might look at to see if it would potentially work.
I'm agreeable to approve it as submitted. It's kind of a unique situation when you take in all the different influences coming at it. But if I were going to exert any effort or energy in terms of a roof to try and remedy that issue, I'd almost take, if you look to the right of where between the garage and the main house, there's that little shed roof. It just take the slope of what is now the bay running perpendicular off the house and run a shed over and stop it like a foot off the corner and put a column support at the end. So now you don't have that 45, you've got two roofs sloping, more simply. You got rid of that 45-degree clip.
Yeah, I follow you there. If we could get that to work without the column, the column wouldn't necessarily be a requirement, right?
Well, if you can get it, I'd like to know, well, you maybe try and do a
Well,
bracket or something.
Yeah, bracket or a ledger.
That's fine. Like I say, I
I
get
like that.
the concerns and the comments people are making, but I would approve this as submitted. But if, before you got into some of the other stuff that we're discussing, I think at least I would consider just taking a simple shed across there and creating two slope roofs at 90-degree angles to each other, kick the
Yeah, I like-
40 out and control it.
I like that idea. It does, it kind of does simplify that connection between those two roofs and, you eliminate one of the roof planes there. I think that would be ideal, actually. It would tie in much better with the existing house.
Yeah, I think that would certainly look better than
Yeah,
the condition we're looking at here right now.
yeah, I agree. And I think, I'm sure the homeowner would be open to that. I mean, I think it's an improvement for sure.
And if you could support it with brackets either side of that paired window and not do the column, I'm all in favor of that too.
Okay.
But the column would move out in this situation, right? So it would just be a shed roof off of the gable.
It'd be,
The
you
room
would
gets a
take
little
the
bit bigger.
front slope of the shed, you take a front slope of the
Bay. Yeah.
It's perpendicular, and that would just become your line and it would just run across. So in elevation, it would look very similar to, except we'll have the porch in front of it. It would
So
look
there would
similar
be
to that little arcade between the garage and the main house.
So there'd be a triangular soffit if you looked from the underside of that bay. With the new roof line, there'd be like a triangular soffit underneath. Tracy, are you following us there? Or-
I was thinking that shed would go the whole length of the addition.
Oh,
So it would be continuous and not just a little piece of roof.
the whole length of the addition or the existing house?
This would be a roof along the back of the existing house, would it not? That's what I'm describing.
Yeah,
Oh, I was picturing it going the other way
Yeah, okay.
so that you'd see it in profile from the rear elevation.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to see what that might look like.
Yeah, when I'm sitting here sketching this about how that would look with just one bracket, I'm not,
I think,
well, I
How
don't,
that
like I
works.
was saying, we've done those roof lines before where our engineer develops a connection back to the house where that truss is actually, or that rafter connection is actually tied back into the house without the need of a column. Am I able to share my screen? Because I could sketch that and show you guys how it would look.
I don't believe so.
It's
Okay.
not set up in that way.
Okay,
Wait a minute, let me see. Ah, I can move you over, hold on. All right, try, I think I've set it up.
yeah, I think you got it there. Can you see my screen there?
Yep.
So what Ken was saying is just take this roof line here and extend it over.
Mhm.
So instead of having that dual pitch in there at the bay, you just have that single continuous roof line.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's, okay, I'm good with that too. I was thinking you take the roof over, continue going over those two windows off to the side. Yeah, I wouldn't put a column, based on what you're drawing there, I wouldn't suggest a column there, no, I wouldn't. I thought you were taking it further over towards the.
I actually like the way that looks too, but I don't know. don't know if the homeowner's willing to,
I get that. Well,
and
that's what, well, and it's just throwing it out because everybody's throwing stuff out. But like I say, I get what you did and I'm empathetic to why it's happened. I don't think it meets the criteria of non-approval. So I would vote to approve.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, Ken. I mean, when I looked at this, I thought, gee, I'd like to discuss if there's a way to kind of smooth that out. I wouldn't vote against it, but what Robert just do based on Ken's suggestion, pulling that shed roof all the way over, I think that really blends it in nicely with the rest of the house.
If he can pull off what he's drawn here and not put a column there based on where it's located, the proximity of the house and everything else, I guess I'd be okay with that too. I'm okay.
yeah, I
with
mean,
it.
I think in terms of approval, the client would prefer to keep it as, I don't know if that's an option also, but I mean, I'd be happy to run by another option with them. If it's required or if it's just being suggested. I just know they got a pretty tight budget on this. I don't know if that,
I'm empathetic with that too, because there's a cost associated with this.
yeah.
I mean, if you would, well, in my mindset, if the client would be agreeable to do what you drew with a cantilever without a column, I think putting a column on what you drew would be
Right.
problematic. I get that. But if you could do that without a column and cantilever it somehow, I guess I can go with that. But other than that, I've already said it, so I won't say it again. I just don't think I don't think this has hit a point in time and space that would garner a disapproval.
All right. Any other comments from the board?
No, I mean, I think that what we're talking about here helps it make it look like it's not an add-on. Right now, I feel like the design looks like it's very much, you can tell that it is added on to the existing home. And especially with this being a historic home, I think we should try to protect that as much as we can to make this addition look more cohesive. Carol, did you have any comments on the symmetry of it or?
Well, I wanted to talk with you all a bit about, kind of how we have a corner fireplace, and we've got vinyl siding on that. And then on another corner, we have a section of vinyl sided wall. And I understand you're looking for a place for that countertop to die into. But then on another corner too, we have columns. And given the symmetry of the original house, that just seemed a little unbalanced looking to me. And I was just wondering, is there a particular reason they went with a corner fireplace?
Yeah, it was just a request that they don't want to block the view of the pool. The pool directly beyond the porch here, so they want to. I didn't think that was the best location for that either, but again, that they preferred that location because it was least obtrusive to the pool view from that porch.
Mhm.
It also, utilitarian wise, it does work well for the furniture layout and the utilization of the space underneath the roof. So
Is there a particular reason that you're going with siding on those on the back sides of the fireplace? With that, you've got, it looks like you've got brick veneer on the face and then siding on the two back sides.
Yeah, the brick veneer is just what they've selected as the fireplace surround. So it's a prefab unit. It's not a full masonry unit. Again, that goes back to cost. And the siding was just selected to match the existing siding of the existing house.
Yeah. Be nice if it was masonry. I'm sure it's a cost issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's a significant difference in cost. I think it was close to 30 grand, which is half the price of the addition.
Is there a way that you could put, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, you could put a finished panel on the end of that cabinet and eliminate that little kind of awkward section of wall? Maybe pull the cabinet in a little bit with a finished panel, and then maybe use that as an opportunity to put another 2 columns. Just, you know, it looks like every corner has a different condition. So I'm just kind of thinking out loud about how we can make it a little more symmetrical. Like,
Thought they were gonna put there was some use for that wall return other than the cabinet. Yeah. Trying to remember what it was.
yeah, just I'm trying to imagine what it would be useful for. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, maybe they were just looking for a place to terminate that cabinet.
Oh, I think what it is they're hanging a TV adjacent to that window. And so it was more for shading as the sun travels across the south side there.
Okay, so there's going to be like a TV above where the cabinets are?
Yeah,
that they-
in section, you can see it here. So in this location,
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for talking through that with us, Robert.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's helpful to kind of get the point of view for the design elements. The idea, you know, that maybe you could reinforce the column with trim on that left side, and have that siding read a little differently, is another thought to help maybe clear up the 2 corners on the back. I don't know if you thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think adding columns or half columns to all of the ends would make it more cohesive. I know that cost is driving a lot of these decisions. And so I don't know if that's in the budget, but I agree that would look better too.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think, right, the idea of adding a trim piece to the corner, the left-hand corner of the view we're looking at now. I mean, you've got a trim, well, and on the outside is, right.
Oh, over here, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're just,
I see what you're
make
saying.
this,
Yeah,
if you're gonna make this mass, you know,
make it appear like there's a column there.
yeah, so instead of your siding trim, you would replace that with, you know, whatever width the column trim is, and just box out the corners, and at least that anchors those ends, and then you're sort of filling it with something a little bit different. I think that kind of helps with cohesiveness. And it's really, when you're talking about cost, it's,
Yeah, that's negligible
Yeah, that's, you're just trading out trim pieces. We're talking about proportions now. That's one little thought I had based on what Carol said and just looking at your drawing.
Yeah, I think that would help. And like you said, there's no real cost associated with that. You're eliminating some siding and trading out some trim.
Yeah, and
Oh,
could
that's
you do
nice.
that on the other corner as well, since you've got 2 columns on the one corner, somehow use like 2 pieces of trim to sort of mimic the 2 columns?
On this side,
Yeah,
Yeah, so, yeah,
Box in
that-
the middle of the wall.
Right. Yep.
you wanted it on these?
yeah, I mean, since you've got the 2 columns on the other side, I think if you were to do like, make it look like 2, 2, and 2, that would be a little better looking. That's a good suggestion, Bob.
Yeah,
Something, yeah, I think that kind of cleans it up a bit and gives it a little bit more connectivity on all 3 sides. Yeah, and I understand on the roof. I'm okay with it the way it was. I think it'd be better with Ken's suggestion, so I guess we could leave that as an option. Anything else from the board? And I guess it's a public hearing. So is there anyone else online that wants to speak on 54 Mason?
No one's raised their hand.
Okay. With that, I think, Robert, it sounds like you're good with at least getting the trim boards on the corners of the addition to match the proportions of the columns.
yeah, I think that is an improvement.
Okay.
And we would be approving the roof as is with the option of their looking into what he just drew with the other extension, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that, I mean, you can tell just by that quick sketch, that makes it look a lot better.
Great. All right. Well, I think with that, we could ask I'll ask for a motion.
We'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a try and you all can pitch in.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve 54 Mason as submitted with the understanding that there will be trim boards on the sided areas of the corners of the addition, and that the trim boards will match the proportion of the columns, and that there will be an option for a shed roof over the remaining portion of bay that will match the adjacent existing shed roof.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Tracy, are you?
I'm opposed. I feel that the shed roof should be included.
Okay. So opposed?
Aye.
With that, Robert, you're approved as amended. Thanks for your time.
Great, thank you guys for working through that with us.
Thank you.
All right. Next on our list, we have 27 Oak Terrace. Is there anyone online for that?
I just moved the owner over. Katie,
Oh.
is there anyone else on besides you?
Yes, I have my husband, Kevin, and my dad, Jim, who's been helping us.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I think in the pre-meeting, the board didn't have any comments. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, board. But since this is a public hearing, we have to ask if there's anyone online that wants to speak on 27 Oak Terrace. Anyone?
No hands up.
All right, with that, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 27 Oak Terrace, along with the clarification that the windows will match the existing windows.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? Okay, you guys are approved.
Great. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. Next, we have 135 South Elm. Is there anyone online?
I think
Jim?
that should be Jim.
Yes, I'm
I
here.
just
Jim.
moved it over.
Welcome, Jim.
Hey.
I don't think we had any comments. Is there anyone else online
No other hands up.
on 135 South Elm? Okay. With that, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve 135 South Elm as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, Jim, you're good to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then that brings us to 208 East Jackson.
I just moved over, I think, the homeowner.
Yes. So
Great.
it's Kim and Dave were the homeowners.
Welcome, Kim and Dave. All right, I think there was some discussion about this one.
I had a question for you. It looked like it was called out specifically that the front windows will be 3/1, but I wasn't sure about the pattern on the other windows. Will the pattern on all windows be the same?
No, the patterns, it will only be those farmhouse 3/1s on the 2 dormers and the 2 front windows.
Okay. So what's happening on the sides then?
The sides and the backs will all be just plain with no
No grids at all?
grids at all.
Yeah.
1/1.
Okay. Is there a reason that you didn't want all of them to match?
Money.
Okay.
The back of the house abuts up against the railroad track berm there,
Uh-huh.
and no one can see, and then the sides are pretty occluded from the street. So we wanted to have just like a little decor around the front windows that people can see, but on the other windows are not really visible from anywhere.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of trees on those sides of the houses, and we were just trying to maximize our light coming in.
Windows that have the dividers in them, that's a true simulated divided light approach.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, the front windows that have the 2 vertical,
Mhm.
are they what they call simulated divided light? They're applied both interior and exterior.
Yeah,
to the-
they'll just be on the interior between the.
That would explain your cost concern. I get it.
Yes.
Last time I heard they charged, going back a few years, I think they charged an $80 upcharge on a window, and then they charged $24 a cell on it or something. So it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's, and considering that we're doing all of the windows and 1 patio door, it got pretty pricey pretty fast.
Yeah, 4 years ago, we had to have the house piered because the back had settled. And so then the doors and windows had gotten a little wonky and don't fit, the way they originally should. And so we had saved up some money to replace them.
Yeah. I guess for me, the style of the house doesn't warrant one style of window over the other.
I agree.
So
Pretty neutral.
if, you know, if it's not atypical to have the front windows of the house dressed up. So I don't really have an issue with it.
Yeah, yeah.
to
Right now
Ken's point-
they're the 8-panel, both top and bottom, and they're a little busy, and so just trying to make it a little cleaner too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that, personally, I think it is cleaner, what you're doing. The Ken's point about the true divided lights versus snap-in grills. To me, snap-in grills aren't even worth it.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing true divided lights, those aren't even worth the money. Personal opinion. All right. I think answers questions from the board. Tracy?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, very good. Well, with that, do I have a motion on 208 East Jackson?
I make a motion to approve 208 East Jackson as submitted with the
Sorry, go ahead.
simulated divided lights on the front elevation only.
Second,
As submitted, that's good. I'm making a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, Carol, you had a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Kim and David, you guys are approved.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. All right, so the official meeting is now adjourned. We do have an informational only discussion for 859 Providence.
Hi, all. How we doing?
Hello,
Hello,
Chris.
that's me. How's everybody doing today?
Great. Thank you. Are you the homeowner?
Yes, along with my wife, who is elsewhere at the moment. But
Okay. All right. We did not discuss this beforehand, but I made a list of things. I'll
yeah,
start.
and Mara sent me that, and I agree with the vast majority of it. I think we both knew that was coming. I was just kind of in a rush to get this in under the submittal deadline to discuss this with you guys today. So I've already kind of gone back and added a couple windows in the side elevation. We put one in the powder room, put one in the laundry room. On the other side of the house, we put one in that master bath upstairs. And then I put a transom window in the downstairs master bathroom. I can show you guys this in real time if you want to share the screen, or we can just get to it, when we have our actual submittal. Either way. But I thought the windows made sense. I think you had some question about maybe doing a parapet wall on that second floor deck. What are your thoughts there? I like the idea of not having to like flash every newel post. That's awesome. I'm not sure.
When I first saw the drawing, to me it's just, I imagined like a band board. I started drawing a band board between the deck and I thought, well, that ties it to the house. And then I started looking at the railing and just wondering from a massing standpoint, on top of that band board, if you just extended those exterior walls up, at least on the sides, if you like the idea of having it open, you could start to open it up as you get towards the rear of the house. I mean, there's different ways to do it, but
yeah,
I was just thinking practical. First, I thought of it from a massing standpoint, what I might do differently or might suggest. And then I started thinking about it. I was thinking about practical too. And I'm thinking about, roof penetrations and long-term maintenance and all that stuff that we homeowners in Webster have to think about.
Right, exactly. What if you split the difference and you don't do a true parapet wall, but you do, so you don't have to have the scuppers basically. So you drain it out to a gutter like you typically would, but instead of doing a rail, you have a, you have a sided wall there. Maybe it's not even siding. Maybe it's a cedar plank. I don't know. Just spitballing.
I mean, I think you could even, that whole idea of the sides being a parapet wall, could extend to a point, and then you could, transition to a railing system just along the back.
Right.
You could, bring it back a bit on the sides too. In my mind, like that would help, because what it does is then it kind of steps the mass down from the larger 2-story piece of the house to this 1-story piece, and then it kind of helps it transition as it goes to the back, the rear.
Right.
So I think there's some options in there with that idea.
Do you have any thoughts on that sunroom roof? Because I'm kind of struggling with that.
Yeah.
There's not enough height to pitch a shed roof, I don't think, which would be the easiest way to do it, but I don't think you've got enough height there. You got what, maybe 10, 12 inches by the time you get done building the roof up. I don't think you're going to be able to get a shed there.
Yeah, I put a big question mark on
Yeah,
that.
I know. I haven't figured it out yet either. I'm hoping Donna can help me out with that. It's in her hands right now. So
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just throw the deck out over the top of that? So
I know. And that's where my head is going, that, that's where we may have to end up. I'm trying to get away from doing all this deck. My wife is absolutely enamored with it. I don't think she understands the scale of how big this thing is, but it's big. I know it's big, but I mean, it's a flat roof anyway. I mean, you're going to have it. So if you're going to have it, you may as well do something with it. Right.
I think it's great.
I think you could get a shed roof in there, couldn't you? I mean, I'm just looking at your left side elevation. It looks like it would kind of be nice to match the front a little bit. I don't know. I have to look at it, but
I haven't done the math on it. I was just kind of
Yeah.
eyeballing it and saying, man, that's going to be awful shallow.
you
It would
could
be
also
nice.
lower the bearing point of the shed down to like 7 feet.
Yeah.
it would be nice to have some kind of something on this, because right now it's just looking very boxy. Like if you could add a shed roof over your doors, or just add some kind of interest or some kind of variation.
Are you talking about off of the? You're talking about coming off the?
I think if you could add like a shed roof off just over your doors, maybe that could provide a little bit more character to the.
Oh, over the rear doors leading out to the.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you could do something cute there. I don't see any reason why not. I don't know if I would do a shed. I might try and do something a little bit cuter, but yeah, you could do that.
I think
It
that's a
seems
great,
like
great
yeah.
suggestion.
I mean, it'll help protect too when you're looking for your keys or something.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like the sunroom windows are really, they have a head height that's really high. Is that right?
It might not be.
Okay. Seems like they're way up there. I just wonder if you want to have the head height match the windows in the rest of the house. Match the head height of your door and.
Oh, I might have set those wrong. I think I probably did set those wrong. Yeah, that's my fault. I'll fix that.
Was there any thought to maybe trimming out those windows similar to what's upstairs? Rather than just having those punched opening and then the,
Sure. Yeah. No, I would do something there.
yeah. And then also too, I mean, are there any thoughts about putting corner trim on the siding?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It just didn't generate. I'm not an expert at this program that I use, but especially on the 3D aspect of it, I just use it for planning purposes. So we would do corner boards like the rest of the house has.
Okay, and then outside of your rear doors, are you planning a deck or porches or anything, or where do those doors actually lead?
Well, they'll go to something. I'm not entirely sure whether they're going to go to a deck, whether they're going to step down to a patio. I don't think we've really sussed all that out yet, but they'll go to something.
Yeah, and also I noticed that those two adjacent doors are two different styles, and when you're looking from the rear yard and kind of looking toward that inner corner of the sunroom, I think it looks might look a little better if those two styles were compatible.
Yeah, we'll clean that up. That's just, quick and dirty, pop a door in there and didn't really do all the work yet. But yeah, we'll clean that up.
I had a comment on the front elevation. I think it's just the illustration there, but it looks like where the door is, there's no beam on the front of the porch. or something.
Correct. I haven't figured out how to carry the porch beam all the way across that opening yet.
Okay. And then when it comes to the sunroom, so you're gonna do, talking about doing a shed roof on the sunroom?
I mean, I would like to, but again, I'm concerned that I don't have enough room. I don't have enough fall for pitch. You know what I'm saying? That's my concern. If I do, I do. I just haven't run the math on it.
One comment I would make on a sunroom, whether you do or don't do that, is you got the two windows from the master bedroom to the sunroom. If you just went to one larger window and take the one side of that sunroom and pull it in 8 inches off the side of the house, it's gonna help break that mass up. And
Fair point. Yeah, fair point. So it's not a continuous long wall. Yeah. All right.
It's a good comment, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think there's enough here, in my opinion. You said you're agreeable to these windows things and stuff. That I would just like to see the thing come back.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. If you said you've already done it, you could probably get it on the next agenda. You got to do the working drawings anyway. You're not going to have those done by that time. So.
Correct. No, I've got Donna helping me out and racing to get ready for that April 1st submittal deadline. But I just kind of wanted to get this in front of you guys on a preliminary basis so I could flush out any big concerns and we could be ready to go on the 15th. So
we all do it ourselves.
Right.
I have a quick question. Bob, you said you had forwarded a list of comments. Could you let us know what was on that list? Just so we're not doubling up here.
Yeah. I actually sent a sketch.
I've got it right here if you want me to read it.
This is the sketch of
Oh, there we go.
left side. You see that?
Yeah.
That's pretty high tech.
Sorry.
Sometimes.
But there's the windows. I'm showing that side is a parapet instead, and so there's a band board.
Yeah, could you back it away from your camera a little bit, Bob, and get some more light on it?
Sorry.
If you guys want to wait just a second, I can share it from my screen.
Okay. I was like, I can do it this way.
No, it's too far away. I can't read it. Can you put it closer?
All right, hold on. Oh, I forgot. They weren't done in the same way. Hold on.
But
I can share it on mine too, Mar, if you want me to do that.
Yeah, except they were all individual
JPEG.
Yeah.
JPEGs, so it's a little harder to share because you've got to share them all one by one. But hold
Right.
on, let me see if I can. Yeah, you can't get them on the same screen.
Right.
And then
we might all have the drift here, and he's going to bring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think windows, just to go through the window list while Mar was looking. Oh yeah, there you
There
have
we
it.
go.
trying to see how I can rotate it in this little. I didn't bring it up in Photoshop or anything.
Yeah, so that shows a window in the bathroom on the
Right.
ground floor, and then adding one to the bathroom upstairs.
That's pretty much exactly what I did.
And then that little section on the right shows extending the wall up into a parapet. So then you add a band board below the roof deck that ties into the fascia board of the house,
Yeah.
the Dutch, and then you put like a cap. So that's a trim piece too. So that helps kind of break that mass up.
Mm-hmm.
I had that comment as well. Okay.
And then let me share the next one. There's the other elevation.
Right. So that was a window in the powder room and then the laundry room.
That's also pretty much exactly what I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then we do the same thing on this side with the band board and the
Mm-hmm.
parapet. And then there was a big question mark because you got to solve your roof.
Right. Exactly.
Looking at your picture here, as far as the roof line goes, if you take your sunroom and you drop it down and you squeeze it in off the end of the house, you could probably do a similar trim that you're doing under this, at the top of that parapet wall, and do just a membrane roof with a very slight slope to it. Although if you could replicate the front porch, that would be the ideal.
That's what I would like to try and do if we can do it.
Yeah, I agree, Ken. I think that would be ideal to replicate the front porch. And I also like very much your suggestion of slightly setting the sunroof
Yeah,
in from that really long wall on the opposite side. I think that'll help a lot.
yeah, I agree. That's the right thing to do.
Yep.
I'm assuming you don't need to see the back elevation. I think it just had one little tiny window.
A window in the whatever room that was. Yeah, and then Tracy's idea about the smaller roofs over the window or the doors, those are
Mhm.
practical solutions, long-term maintenance on the doors, and then it looks better too, you know, it helps break up the house.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you work for Fisher and Fritchell?
I do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
So how long have you had do you own the house, Chris?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Have we seen this house before at ARB like years ago?
I
Okay,
built a
thought,
detail-
I'm like,
I built a detached garage a couple years back that I was in front of you guys for.
I remember, I was like, why have I seen this house before?
Good memory.
Okay,
So
all right.
we're gonna vote on this, are we?
It's not on
No,
the
it's-
agenda.
Yeah.
Preliminary, it's not on the agenda. We're adjourned, actually. We're doing
Cool.
this on our volunteer time.
There you go.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
All right.
Absolutely, Chris. You're
Okay, we'll see you guys in April.
welcome. Okay, sounds good. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Maura, you wanted to go over something, didn't you?
What?
Did you want to go over the zoning thing at all? Okay, that's fine.
Nope, I'll send some stuff to you. I was being Kelly today because
Yeah.
it's her husband's birthday. So nope, nothing else.
Sounds good.
All right.
Have a good one, everybody.
You
Yep.
too.
In April.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.